Or Jane Fonda, who is nominated for an Emmy for the role you just saw on HBO's The Newsroom. Jane is here along with pioneering feminist Gloria Steinem and radio host and activist Robin Morgan.
They are the co-founders of the Women's Media Center. Next month, they host the Women's Media Awards, and Gail is going to be one of the co-chairs of that event.
Looking forward to that. The awards honor those raising the visibility and power of women in the media. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Gloria Steinem, this is what I wanted you to start us off, because I wonder, back in the day, what you saw that said, hey, this isn't right, and what you see today that makes you say, hey, this is not right.
Well, it was also what I didn't see. I mean, I looked at the Senate. I could go snowblind there. I mean, from all those white folks and no women and so right. I looked at who was raising children, and it was not men. And I had had a nurturing father, so I totally understood.
So you know it's possible.
It's possible, right? So it has changed, but not nearly enough, because now, thanks to, I mean, look at this show. The show is, you bring different experiences, and you represent democracy.
Charlie's outnumbered, isn't he?
No, but I mean, seriously, and you're not yelling at each other. And I mean, this show looks much more like the country than the people who are making the media decisions, who are still only 3% women. So, you know, yes, it's changed, but we have a long way to go.
There is a new study out today about the pay gap, which has been, of course, something that's been talked about a great deal. And yet, last year, women earned 76.5 cents to every dollar a man makes. Why does that still exist?
Because we're the cheap labor source on which the country is running. I mean, the biggest economic stimulus this country could possibly have is the $2 billion put into the economy if we had equal pay, just for the work that women are already doing.
And yet, Jane, this was something that the president had, the Lilly Ledbetter Act, which is about suing. It doesn't require companies to pay women the same amount. This has been an issue that it's been at the forefront for 3 decades. Pay gap, the pay gap.
Yeah.
What do you think needs to be done?
How do we do it? How do we do it?
Well,
what are we going to do?
We do it in all kinds of ways. We ask for what we're worth, which women don't always do, because we get kind of, we sue, we bring actions, we start our own businesses. Women are starting their own. I mean, we by any means necessary.
And we make people aware of it. If you don't know that there's a problem, and if you can't name it, then we can't solve it, which is one of the reasons that we started the Women's Media Center, because people, you know, we see women's faces on television, but we don't realize that, in fact, men way outnumber women in terms of the media, and the media is what determines how we feel about ourselves, what we think is possible for women, and whether it's print, radio, television, we're outnumbered.
And on that note, we have on a full screen here, 25% of the guests on Sunday talk shows are women, 30% of the local news directors are women, 37% of the newspaper newsrooms, and 27% of the front page bylines, despite the gains of women in media.
Well, that's where the rubber meets the road, because the positions of power are still largely concentrated in the hands of a relatively few rich, pale males, with exception, of course, Charlie.
Thank you, Ron.
Present company excluded.
Yes, exactly. But so what you see in front of the camera is one thing, and we've made strides there. Witness this. But where the real power resides in terms of who decides what the news is, who decides what the stories are. You know, women are not a minority group. Women are the majority of the human species. So for us not to be included in all forms of media, and in fact in a majority voice, is bad for media, it's bad for journalism, and ultimately it's bad for democracy. So Women's Media Center was created by the 3 of us crazies to make women visible and powerful in the media. And the programs range from training women in media skills, wonderful grassroots activists, to Name It, Change It, which is a research project about you know, women candidates in office and the way they are traduced, to Women Under Siege, which is about women in conflict situations. It's changing media. And the radio program, which is a new baby, which I do host, which is Women's Media Center Live, is turned into the little radio program that could, and has now world-class guests, and is on CBS, and also on iTunes. If you go to WMCLive.com, you can link to all the ways in which you can download and subscribe to it. So it's an alternate view of reality, the one that most people live in most of the time.
Jane, you better go ahead.
Well, it's tied to the news. I mean, we are introducing the New York Times and other media leaders to the Syrian Women's Peace Movement, to the Syrian Forum, which it could be some of the solution. I mean, Ireland would arguably not be at peace if it weren't for the women's movement. It's certainly true of Liberia. Maybe it's true of Syria. So it's our job as the Women's Media Center to bring these voices into the news so we know we have alternatives. And so, you know, if you can't see it, you can't be it.
That's right. And here's the good news.
And so we're having an impact, the Women's Media Center, because we're making people aware of the problem, and that's the big first step, becoming aware.
Jane, you've had a remarkable life and a diverse life. In terms of the things that have been a touchstone for you as you have evolved as a human being, I mean, what is the lesson there for you that you would share in terms of the consciousness of women and the consciousness of self?
Just a little question.
I know for a long time I was very resistant to the women's movement. I was resistant to the idea of feminism, and because I thought it meant that you didn't like men, and I do. And it was really, it was partly because of Gloria. And other feminists that I heard in the beginning when I first became an activist that made me realize it has nothing to do with being anti-men. It has to do with democracy. We can't have a democracy unless women have an equal presence and voice. And that happened in the early 70s for me. I was already in my late 30s, and so, you know, I'm a late comer to this, but it changed my whole life.
No, we had Deborah Spar here yesterday, the president of Barnard College, who was talking about the importance of including men in the movement. And Gloria, one of your iconic lines is, "A woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle." That said, you still believe that men need to be involved in this process.
Actually, I have to say it was a wonderful Australian member of Parliament who said that, not me. But it's funny, so I'll be glad to take it.
No, it's always credited to you. Yes.
No, but because the masculine role is dehumanizing. It tells you that you have to win to be loved. Women have to lose to be loved. Men have to. It's unfair to everybody. The idea of having to dominate or having to be in control is dehumanizing and restricting. So we all have to gain hugely. Women are naturally on the forefront because we're losing more, but there are many men who are on the forefront too.
And it's not about control. It's about making an equal impact.
We have to end it there. But congratulations to you, Gloria Steinem, Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yes.
Given to people who use their lives to enrich the lives of others. That is certainly you, Gloria Steinem.
Yes.
Jane Fonda, Gloria, and Robin Morgan, we thank you all. And you can learn more about the Women's Media Center by going to where? CBSThisMorning.com. It's all there.